Hi, I'm James Coates.
And I'm Nicholas Bird.
And we'd like to welcome you to
Razor Blade Magic. Razor Blade Magic is a form of magic that really hasn't ever been tapped to its fullest potential. But you know what? We're here to change that.
When doing razor blade magic, make sure and choose your audiences wisely, and most importantly, use dull razor blades.
This DVD has some graphic content, and it's not intended for anyone under the age of 18. And you should not perform razor blade magic unless you are 18 years of age.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy Bird & Coates'
Razor Blade Magic.
Before reviewing this DVD, we want to show you some of the handling and safety techniques used when doing razor blade magic. The first thing you need to do is obtain razor blades. You can find these in most drugstores such as a Walgreens, Eckerd's, CVS, or a larger store such as a Walmart or Kmart. Due to the disposable razors, the double-edged razor blade that we use, you can still find them, but it's not exactly as easy as it used to be. But you can still find them. They're roughly about $4 to $5 for anywhere from 12 to 15. They come in this nice little handy case, similar to a dealer's box used in Vegas to deal cards. So you can take one out. It's a nice safety precaution so you don't slice your hand open. First thing we're going to tell you is if you do cut yourself with a razor blade, discard that razor blade immediately because you don't want any sort of blood on your razor blades before you start dulling them, because that's not cool. You'll need a file. Now this is a metal file. Yes, I know it's made out of metal, but you want a metal file used to file down metal. If you do not have one of these, a emery board used by females to file down their nails works just as good. Take the razor blade. Now once again, there's an order you have to do this because it's very safe, and it's kind of a very quick reminder. Take all the razor blades out of your container. Set it to the side. Take all the razor blades except for one that you're working on and dull it. How you want to do that is grab it right in the middle like this. The reason you want to do this is because your fingers are nowhere near a sharp edge. And you don't want to press hard because of the fact that you may slip and cut your hand. This is what we like to do. First, take your file, set it down on a table or a work surface. Place it, rub it a few times, grab it, turn it over. The reason you're doing this is just in case you do slip, you don't want to slip on a very sharp surface. So now you're ready to really start dulling one of the sharp sides. You want to go back and forth. I like to say anywhere from 20 to 25 times. The safer the better. Never ever do what I'm doing like this until you get comfortable and can feel the razor blade. In no way am I telling you to feel what a sharp razor blade feels like, but from my experience, I know what they feel like, and I know this will tickle one's dull. So I'm not going to switch sides and do this. A nice little safe way is to use a playing card, to take and rub it against the side of the playing card. If it slices it on this first little ridge through, you know it's a sharp razor blade, so keep filing. You can file this down as safe as you like, and also a very, very good technique is to curl the razor blade up. Reason being is because these are nice little sharp edges here, and there's 4 of these edges, and you just want to, this is the last thing you'll be doing. 2, 3, and 4. Once I have a dull razor blade, I'm now going to take the cartridge and I'm going to simply load the razor blade back in it as such. Now I know that this is a dull razor blade. It never hurts to write, if you want to put some tape on the back, to go ahead and write dull razor blades. Before we do this, it's very important to clean the razor blade. You don't want to use water because once again it's going to rust. Take a nice little rag, paper towel. You want to get the metal shavings off because if you're putting that in your mouth, you don't want metal shavings in your mouth. Once it's clean, once it's prepped, go ahead and load it in like we showed you into the cartridge. You want to do that with all the razor blades. You don't want to have 6 or 7 sharp, 6 or 7 dull, unless you specifically have a routine that calls for that you're doing that we haven't shown in this DVD. Once again, we dull all the razor blades, we load them into the cartridge, and we write dull razor blades on the back of it so that we know when we take this razor blade out it's not, as we call, a live razor blade, because it'll slice you open. Once again, if you get cut with one of these, definitely throw it away right away. Do anything you need to take care of the cut, go back to it, and that's how you dull a razor blade. Now, when handling the razor blades, you want to handle them in such a way, because they still, even though they're dull, they can still cut you. This can be seen, there's a gentleman by the name of Jim Rhodes who has a side circus show who does razor blade magic, and he cuts into a card. Now, all the razor blades he's using are actually dull, but since it's so thin, this is the most dangerous part of the razor blade. It's so thin that it can still cut even though it's dull. So handle them as if they're live. Live being a sharp razor blade. So handle them very gently. When doing any sort of manipulation with it, there's no reason to squeeze it, because it's a very light item, and you can just go into a nice little vanish, and you're handling the razor blade still very carefully. Respect the razor blade, and it should not cut you.
You guys play with razor blades?
Yeah.
No, don't answer that. I can incriminate you or something like that. Check it out. You just go like this. See it? Check it out. Check it out. Don't, it'll cut you. It'll cut you. Look at that. Solid, dude.
Do it one more time.
It's once. Once is the trick. Seconds a lesson. Less than $20. I just joke. It's sharp, dude. It's sharp. Don't touch. It's sharp. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
One more time, please.
No, man. You can only do it once, man.
And here's the explanation for the bite razor blade. First thing you'll need is 2 identical razor blades. There's 2 important things we need to tell you about these. They're dull. That's the first one. And they're dull. That's the second one. One more time, they're dull. Okay? You don't stick sharp razor blades in your mouth. You need a pair of scissors. And you'll need some aluminum foil. We'll get to that in a second. What you want to do with one of your razor blades is cut about 60% of it off. It should look like this. Let me line these up. Just like that. So I still got about 60% of the razor blade still remaining. And I take my scissors and I cut a little pattern. I'm going to give an example of the folding quarter that you may have seen. Has kind of a smooth edge, but basically you want, just like the bite quarter, you want to create what looks to be a tear, some teeth marks, whatever it may be, and you want to throw the rest of it away in a napkin, inside of a box, inside of a bag, because you don't want pieces of razor blade floating around. Remember, these are dull. So once again, cut it, make a nice little design, and it should look just like this. One of the most important things about these razor blades, Nick and I try to develop a gimmick, just like the folding quarter, and while playing around with it, we realized that you don't need any rubber bands, any carving or jewelers, saws to make these things do what they naturally do. So that's how you create your gimmick. I know it doesn't look like much, but from the performance you saw, it really makes people go, wow. Here's where the aluminum foil comes in. A little bit I added because the one thing I didn't like about the biting quarter, what Nick and I would always do is we'd get 2 of them, take one of the pieces off and stick it in our mouth, so we can actually show the piece of quarter. Well, that's all we're going to do with this. I'm going to cut the corner off of the aluminum foil about this size. It's close to the razor blade size. It doesn't have to be exact. Now there is a shiny side and a dull side. You want to make sure that the shiny side is on your tongue, like that. Now during the performance, the worst thing that can happen is it'll stick through the roof of your mouth. So you can manipulate it. Shouldn't be a big deal. Most importantly, you don't swallow aluminum foil. If you need your vitamins, take a multivitamin. You don't swallow steel or aluminum. Once again, you do not swallow aluminum or razor blades. Okay, let me take this out. A little hard to talk. Now the setup is very, very simple. Take your full razor blade and you take your gimmicked bit razor blade and you put it, the bite portion, in front, and you line them up. And you know they're lined up because you're looking through the exact same holes and you're looking at the exact same edge that someone else would. So it looks like, to most, depending on how, I would always recommend making a new gimmick. That's also because this may get wet. with saliva or anything along those lines, and razor blades tarnish because they're made out of steel. So for the amount of cost wrapped up in it, you just simply make a new one each time you perform. It's easy. Now, you have this set up. I like to do it with two hands. And the bottom lip is going to play a major focus factor in this right here. We'll go ahead and set this up. What I like to do is hold it on its corners. The reason I do that is because it lines up everything you need and keeps it that way. That's the most important part. Plus the thumb is going to play a major part in this. Watch what I do here in slow motion. Let's take another look at that. Like this. Okay, so you can see that now. Let's go over it one more time. Come in. And once again, these hands are great. Like a little mobile stage. Some curtains come in. Take a bite. Here's where the thumb comes in handy. Watch what I do with the thumb. Okay? That thumb is holding the razor blade back. As you can see there. This is what it looks like. This is what I see. Audience. James. Audience. James. Okay. Now, the flash reproduction all happens because the razor blade is let go. It's phenomenal. So, now let's work in the piece of aluminum foil. Make sure it's on your tongue. Go for the bite. If you like to grit your teeth, it's kind of a cool little effect. Show it real quickly. Stick it on the roof of your mouth. It'll stick in a heartbeat. See if you know there. It's stuck in my roof of my mouth. I spit. It comes back. Now here's the beauty of this gimmick. My hands are already set up so I can rotate the razor blade. Someone outstretches their hand. Watch this. This is phenomenal. Slide it off. Place it in their hand. And you walk away with a gimmick. If you want, some of the things we use a magnet. Pop it on your magnet. Put it in your pocket. If you want, Nick and I, when we started doing this kind of magic, there's a little tiny baseball card protector. Sign a razor blade, stick in the baseball card protector. It makes a hell of a giveaway. Dude, you're the guy who eats razor blades. Yeah, thanks. Let's go over that movement one more time because we want to make sure, because this is worth the price of the DVD. This trick alone. If I bought this DVD and this is the only thing that was on it, I'd be happy. But we're better than that. There we go. It's all lined up. I gotta get the aluminum foil off my roof. Now we're set. Watch. Come in. Use a chin or bottom lip. The thumb comes into play. I show. Put it on the roof of my mouth. I grit if I want to. I spit. I then take, so they can still see the razor blade, outstretched hand, put the razor blade in their mouth or in their hand. And this piece of aluminum foil should be stuck to the roof of my mouth. Sign it, give it away. Never give it to kids, never perform this for anyone under 18. And that's how you bite a razor blade. When performing the bite razor blade, it's very important every 3 to 5 times that you perform it, you have to replace the complete full blade, the one that springs back, because it'll lose its spring and it won't give that look, that spring, that restoration that you're looking for. So make sure and replace it on a regular basis.
How many of y'all know what a Monty is? Be it a 3-card Monty, maybe a shell Monty.
Right here.
Right there, all right. For the rest of you, basically, it's a street hustle, okay? It's a game that's played on the streets where they have 2 cards that are the same, the 2 King of Hearts, and the 1 card that's different. You know, the hustler will turn the 3 cards over and he'll start to shuffle the cards like this, trying to confuse you and make you lose the actual different card. You know, and it's a gambling game. Like I said, it's a hustle. They're trying to take your money. That's all it's for. Well, we're going to do something similar to that today. but we're not going to use cards. All right, we're going to use something different. All right. First, you got to know the rules, the way a Monte works. See, all the cards when they're turned over, they all look the same, right? Then you have the one different card. Well, instead of having a card that's different, we're going to use shot glasses, and our different shot is going to actually have a razor blade in it. Okay. Now, I'm not going to gamble with y'all's health or even y'all's money. I have $60 in my pocket here, all right? Now, each card is going to be like a poker chip for you, basically. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to win my money, all right? So, basically, I'm going to put the razor blade in the shot. We're going to mix it up, and we're going to give you a chance to find that razor blade, okay? Yeah. If you find the razor blade, you get 20 bucks. Sound cool?
All right.
Sounds like a win-win situation, right?
Heck yeah.
All right. We got our cards, our 3 kings, and we have our shot glasses. Regular shot glasses, right? Regular razor blade. And regular tomato juice. White tomato juice because I don't know. I don't do the Bloody Mary thing. It's not my game, you know. So we're gonna pour a little bit of tomato juice in that one. Razor blade. Keep your eye on it. See it? There we go. It just doesn't want to sink. The good razor blade Titanic here. Alright. And a little bit there. Okay? Now here's the really important part. Because if you mix this up, I could get hurt. Remember where the razor blade is. Okay? Because what's going to happen, we're not only just going to gamble with my money, we're kind of going to gamble with my health. Because what I'm going to do is, whichever.
Up to me,
that's right. Right here's where we know that the razor blade is, as for now. Now, we're going to mix them up and do a little Monte game, okay? When we get to the point where you choose the glass that you think has the Monte, I'm going to take that shot, okay? So I'm going to drink it.
You're taking the shot where
I'm taking the shot where you think the razor blade is, because I am that confident that you're going to be wrong.
Okay.
It's just the way the card game works.
Some confidence in me.
It is confidence.
Yeah, I feel good about that. Let's go.
Well, I feel good about it too. Now here it is. You got to watch it. All right.
Okay.
Because it is what? It's sleight of hand.
Yes.
Now here we go. We take switch. There's one. See it?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I do this?
There's 2. You want to? She's gauging. She's. I'm following it. All right. There's 2.
Yeah.
All right. Here's move number 3. Now, where did it go? Where is it?
If there was a sleight of hand, then maybe it's here. I think it's there.
You think it's there? All right. Here we go. This shot right here.
And I'm gonna go with this one.
You're gonna go with that shot?
Lauren?
This shot?
I would say that one.
This shot. Middle shot. Just pick. Come on, work for me here. Pick your shot.
All right. I'll go with
Middle
this
shot. Here we go.
Yeah.
Obviously not.
You're wrong. That's $20. Thank you very much. I'll keep this one over here. All right, 2 left. Here we go. Pick your shot. This one.
I'm good.
You're killing the man. You're killing him slowly.
That's 2. Another one. Now, let's look at what we have here. We have the 2 King of Hearts. Remember the beginning. We had a King of Diamonds and 2 King of Hearts. So now we're left with 1 shot and 1 card. King of Diamonds, the 1 card that's different. We had 1 shot that was different, had a razor blade in it. Do you remember the whole way that the Monte works? There's the one that's different, the 1 card that's different. Do you think it's a coincidence? Or do you think that this is the glass with the razor blade?
I think the razor blade disappeared somehow.
I think the razor blade disappeared. All right, here it is. Last shot. You want me to drink it? It's going to cost you the 20. All right, here we go. Last shot. I get the last card. And
very nice. How'd you do that?
There's your razor blade.
He's a magician.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's not going to give that away. But that was impressive.
Kind of salty. You like that?
That's nice.
Thank you.
I'm impressed.
Excellent. Here's the explanation for the Bloody Mary Monte. When you're performing the razor blade Monte, there's a couple things that you're going to need to make there's also a couple things you're going to need to buy. I bought these shot glasses at ABC Liquor Store. It's a pretty big chain, so you should have one near you. If you can't, then just look for glasses similar to these. These glasses are just about the diameter of a razor blade. See that? Not only that, they're straight. They're not tapered glasses. They're straight down the sides and they're glass. This is very important if you want to perform the cups and blades routine, which we're going to show you later. You need these shot glasses. Now, we filled all these glasses with water so you can see what's going on. It's kind of a behind the scene approach. But during the actual routine, I use Campbell's tomato juice. This is what I use. The reason that I use it is because the tomato juice is red, kind of like blood, and it's thick. I can put a blade in there and it'll stay. It'll just hang tight. It's thick enough that I can actually have to push it under there just like that. Tasty. Okay. Another thing, it doesn't slosh out really. I can pick up and I can move the glasses around with confidence that I'm not going to be sloshing tomato juice all over the place. That's why I use the tomato juice. Now, here's the way the routine works. I explain the Monty portion, the rules of a Monty. All three the same. One's different. In this case, it's a King of Heart. And then I'll place the cards back on top of the deck. Now, I have 2 King of Diamonds, 1 King of Heart. The King of Diamonds go on first. The King of Heart needs to be the very top card. Very top card, just like that. Okay? Now, what you don't see when I'm dealing the cards out later is the fact that I have gimmick card on the bottom. We call it our razor card. What it is, it's a version of the Danny Archer coin card. So, it has a lot of functions. We're going to talk about some of those extra functions when we show you how to make it here in a minute. That goes on the bottom, loaded with 1 razor blade. I explain that we're going to be gambling, and then I can even, when I'm holding the gimmicked razor card on the bottom, I can even do some manipulations just like this, as long as I don't mix up the order, as long as that stays on the bottom and my kings stay on top. So I can do a little bit of cool cuts and things like that, as long as I don't flash and as long as I don't mix up the order. Now when I'm dealing out the cards, I deal them all out just like this. Keep the cards down at an angle so they can't see what's happening. But in reality, I'm grabbing a razor blade, same time I'm grabbing a card, and I'm dealing it. So I'm dealing down, there's 1 card, 2 cards, and 3 cards. At that point, I set my cards to the side, I'm ready to begin the trick. I always start with my glasses empty, ask them which glass they want to put it in. They usually say the middle one. Sometimes I don't even ask, sometimes I just put it in an empty glass and I begin filling the shots. Okay? Once the razor blade's in the glass, you say, remember where the razor blade is. When I do that, I pick it up and I give it a little quarter turn. That way the razor blade is now slanted to the side. Makes it easier for me to steal it here in a minute. Say, remember where it is. It's important. Also, while I'm doing that, because if you forget, I could get hurt. While I'm doing that line, I reach down to my side, and on my back pocket, I have 2 big block magnets. Got them at Radio Shack. They're stuck together. They go all the way across the bottom of my pocket. Gives me a really big target. And on that, I have a gimmick. This is the Bloody Mary Monty gimmick. I'm going to show you how to make this in a minute too. So, just hang tight. The way this works is I pinch it tight. So it's closed just like that, and it can go on my finger. I reach back, I grab it, get it in position just like that, and all I have to do is pivot and push it to where it's squeezing on my finger, and I'm ready to perform. Now the angles for this trick are about like this. You got about 45 degrees to each side that you can work on. If somebody's standing right down the bar looking at you, they're going to see this. So you need to control your audience somehow. That's an important note. Another thing that's important, I perform this on towels. I use towels a lot when I'm doing my shot glass routines because I kept destroying close-up mats. You spill tomato juice on a close-up mat, you might as well throw it in the garbage. So perform this on towels. Alright, the moves, when I'm holding the glass, I hold them towards the top. There's one, razor blade still there. There's two, razor blade still there. It's time to steal the razor blade. I kick my hand forward a little, the gimmick goes deep into the glass, and I grab towards the bottom of the glass. And when I grab it, there's three, I come up, notice that the gimmick's on here. Now when you come up and out, you want to avoid the side for a couple reasons. If you brush against the side, you're going to brush tomato juice up against the side of the glass. So practice this move before, because you want all the glasses to look the same. Another thing is it makes noise. People will hear that and you're busted. So I go deep into the glass and straight up. From the side, looks like this. I go down, straight up. Now once I'm out, I immediately curl my fingers so that any tomato juice will drip onto my fingers. I can then come back, ditch the entire thing onto the magnet that's in my pocket, or I can go to a siphon type thing that I have underneath the bar. That's the way I did it in the routine that you saw. I had some towels lined right there underneath the bar. I came down, I ditched them on the towels, that way it didn't make noise when it hit the counter, and I'm clean. Now I can come up, which one has the shot? That's an important thing. I say, when I'm coming away, now which one has the razor blade? When they point, boom, I take that shot. I take the empty glass, sit it to the side. Say, alright, it's going to cost you 20. There's the king of diamond. Again, I'll switch, which one has the razor blade. Take the shot, sit it to the side. Take another card, another king of diamond. Then I always like to bring up the point, the two cards that were the same, the one different card. The two glasses that were the same. Could this be the one different glass that has the razor blade? Probably. Coincidence? Don't think so. At that point, I give them an option. Do you want me to take the shot? It's going to cost you $20. If they say, yes, take that shot, boom, I take the shot. If they say no, say, too bad, I'm the magician, you already had two shots and you blew it. Then I'll take the last shot and say, and you know what's interesting? Underneath the King of Hearts is the razor blade. Now that's the handling for the Bloody Mary Monty. Now let's show you how to make those gimmicks. Here's how to make the Bloody Mary Monty hand gimmick. Here's how you're going to make your Bloody Mary Monty gimmick. This is the end result right here. Ta-da! Really high-tech, isn't it? Well, may not be the most high-tech thing, but I tell you what, it works beautifully. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. Now, what you need is you need some copper wire. I got this at a craft shop. Doesn't matter. The bigger the gauge, the better. For y'all that don't know what gauge is, the thicker the better. Okay. You're also going to need some super glue. Now, what you want to do is you want to cut you a piece of wire, I don't know, about 12 to 18 inches, something like that right there. Move these back so you can see what's going on. I want to take it and I want to bend it in half. Pretty close to half, just like that. Once you get it bent in half, I take my pinky, I sit it right there next to that knuckle, and what I do is I mark the end of it, just like that. And that's where I put two more bends in it. This isn't an exact science, so you just got to get close. Not only that, everybody's hands are a little bit different, so you may want to make your gimmick a little bit different size. I take a pin cap, stick it in the tip right there, and I twist. Just something so I can hold on to the end, and I get it twisted about 2 or 3 times. See how it's twisted? Now what I can do, straighten those back out, and I come in and pinch this with my scissors, and I close it up. Should look just like this by the time you take all your time to straighten it up and get it nice and neat. Now, once I'm here, I come out, and I bend these two arms just like that, and I bring them in. Alright, now this is a rough way of doing it because I don't know how big your hands are. Once you've got that, what you're going to want to do is double this thing in just like this. You see that? They were out. Like that. And I basically want to fold it in about halfway for the first time. So it looks a lot like that. See? Okay. Now, the reason you're doing this is because we're going to bring this in to make it strong, and it's going to come up and become the sides of the gimmick that wrap around your finger, like that. But as you see, that is too big. It shows on the back side of my fingers, so that won't work. So what that means you have to do is you have to come back out, straighten it all out, and bend it again until you find the right height. Once you find the right height, once it's doubled up, and you bend it in, you're going to have little things hanging off like that. So what you want to do is you want to cut those off. Discard those. Now you're left with something that looks kind of like a flux capacitor. Alright? It's a big Y. What you want to do is you want to double that back up again. Like that. See, it's doubled up. Okay. I want to double up that one as well. See? Now, you want to bend and shape this to get it to looking square, like this. This is the way that I like for my tips to look. Alright, it's going to take a little manipulation, you're going to have to work it a little bit, but you can do it. Alright? Now, once you're to this point, you have to attach your magnets. This is the way that I do that. I take my super glue, and on the tip, you notice there's a little reservoir right here. From where you crimped it with the scissors, it's going to leave a little hole. I actually fill that up with glue. I'll just put a little drop. It just takes a little drop. A little dab will do you. Then I take 2 earth magnets. I get these magnets at Radio Shack. Notice how they just jump together. These things are so strong. These things are great. I let them come together just like that. And I take them apart, and I remember which 2 sides touched. And I'll put both those sides facing up. So when they smack together, that was loud, wasn't it? When they smack together, I remember which sides. I peel them apart, and I sit them down so those 2 sides are facing up. Then I put my glue in here. I set the glue down on one magnet. Let it sit there for a minute. Wait, it starts to bond. Then I take the other one. I turn it over so that the attraction side to that magnet is down, and then I stick it on top. Now what's going to happen is it's going to hold in this position right here. The glue and the 2 magnets are going to actually pinch against the little copper wire in there and pull each other together, so you don't have to sit here for the 10 minutes and hold it till it dries. Now, once I have the gimmick like this, I like to take 2 more earth magnets and just let them click on, one on each side. So I have 2 magnets on each side. What this does, gives me a little bit bigger magnet, a little bit stronger to pick up things. Alright? Now that's how you make this gimmick. Now what I want you to think is the versatility with this thing. Don't use it just for this routine or some of the other things I may show you. Try and be creative. Take this and have fun. Here's how to make the razor card. This is the razor card right here. It's a gimmick that was inspired by Danny Archer's coin card, except it's a little bit different. Danny Archer's coin card actually would be 4 cards thick at the bottom and 1 card thick at the top. This card is only 2 cards. They have only 2 cards. So it's a little bit thinner. Now, what you take is 2 cards. I like to use 10s, 8s, something like that. 10s are the best because it kind of gives you a point of where to cut and you don't even have to think about it. you have the one card that's going to be your backing. And what I've done is I've run double stick tape along this edge, the width of the tape, and I took that same tape and I folded it in half like this so it's thinner. That way I can run it down the sides. And I've done that down the sides and across the top. Once you've done that, you want to take a tin. Tins work the best, absolutely, because I'm going to take and I'm going to make cuts all the way across. Now when I cut, I like the first cut to be even with the bottom of the suit right here at the very bottom. So at the bottom of this heart, I'm going to go all the way across. Then I come to the bottom of the heart in the middle, I go all the way across, come to the bottom of this heart, all the way across, bottom of this heart, all the way across. If it was diamonds, diamonds, spades, same thing. It's going to be the same thing no matter what you're using. So after you make your slits, the card should look like this. You have your little slits in it. See? Look at that. Oh, where'd my finger go, guys? I don't know. It's right there. So 4 slits. Once you're at that point, I set it on top of my 9 of diamonds. I square it up real nice. It's good to use the end that doesn't have any tape on it. Square it up. And I use my table and fingers and bring it up like this. And then I just kind of bring it together. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the more square, the better. And then I squeeze everything together. Just like that. Now, once I get it real nice and sealed down, remember which end has the tape on it. It's this end. I then take my scotch tape and I run me out a strip of scotch tape. I place it along the bottom and I fold it over so it makes a seal, just like this right here. That's going to be the bottom of the card. Alright? Now, the reason I do that is for 2 reasons. It keeps razor blades from falling out the bottom, and it also gives me a reference point. Whenever I pick up my card, if I don't have any razor blades in there, and you just look at it, you go, oh great, which end's the top, which end's the bottom? Well, the bottom is the end with the tape that's folded over the outside. So, that's one extra thing that it does for you. To load in the blades, you just stick them in like so, into the slits, and you're ready to go. You can put them on the bottom of a deck, and you'll be able to, as you're dealing out cards, you can deal out razor blades. It's also a way to carry your razor blades in the middle of the deck. You can produce razor blades from the middle of the deck. Another good thing that you can do with this is matrix. That's right. You can do a coin matrix with razor blades. It's really cool, really impromptu, and it'll be extremely impressive. Set up your razor blades in the 4 corners. After dealing them out from, what? That's right, your razor card. Break out 4 more cards. Begin your matrix routine. There's just a multitude of things you can do with this, and that's how you make your razor card.
I have here a razor blade. We don't do card magic, we do razor blade magic because it makes us unique. People look at us and go, what are you doing? Sir, if you can do me a favor, take these magic scissors and cut the razor blade right in half. See, not even worried about it. There you go. Good. Okay. You know how some magicians basically take, there we go, and they that's restored. Thank you. You like that? No, I'm just joking. Basically, you know, magicians, when they do this trick, they put something in their hand and they do some sleight of hand. I'll go ahead and take those. Thanks. And they put something in their hand, and basically what happens is that it ends up restored. But we're not going to do that. Watch. Watch the lines. The lines literally start disappearing on one side, and now on the other. And now you have a completely restored razor blade.
And here's the explanation for torn and restored razor blade. And here's what you need to perform the torn and restored razor blade. A set of scissors, your dull razor blades, a pencil, most importantly, your magnets. Once again, these magnets can be purchased at Radio Shack for about $1.50 to $2 each. I personally like to use 2 of them and place them in the opposite pocket of my hand. So if I'm right-handed, I'm going to stick it in my left back pocket. And I like 2 of them because of the fact that it takes up the entire bottom of my back pocket. Closer, easier. If I get a shot, if I'm in a quick little hurry, I have a bigger target to stick the pieces to. Now, once that's in my pocket, I need to prepare a razor blade before I get started. And what I want to do with that is, there's a section right here that goes across a razor blade that the individual is going to be cutting with a set of scissors. We want to take a pencil and make that mark in the exact same place, because this mark is actually going to mimic a seam of 2 razor blades being held together. It's very, very important that you get this seam, because it's an illusion, because you're going to wipe that seam away, giving it the restored look. Now you want to do this on one side, and now let's do it on the other. So again, just a quick little easy line. Just to give it a little seamage, so to speak. Now this razor blade can be used repeatedly in your performance, but it will start, because it's graphite, it will start creating a shiny line. So, as with most of this razor blade magic, recycle it out. So, now you're ready to start getting the performance set up. And how you want to do that is you can stick the pencil in your backpack, whatever magic box you have, because you really don't need it, apron, whatever you like, but keep it handy because you will need to do those lines so you can repeat the trick. You take your razor blade and put it in a palming position. I like to use the middle finger because of the fact that my fingers next to it acts as a shield, so I can act somewhat in a normal manner. I can slightly spread my fingers apart, but keep in mind there will be a little bit of a shine, so you want to keep it somewhat closed. And your thumb can also take that if you want to open your fingers a little bit. Whatever you like is what's going to work best, but it has to be in this position. The next thing you need is your pack of razor blades. I take them out, talk about why they're in this package, remove the razor blade, and I tell them right off the bat, you're not going to have to handle this razor blade, but you do get to handle the magic sharp scissors. Ooh. A nice little comedic byplay is to get a set of safety scissors for kids. You can really just give someone a hard time. Here's the safety scissors, sir. Whatever you like. Once they take the scissors, you have them cut it directly in half, as we have here. Now you want to make sure and let them hold on to those scissors. That's very important, because that, once again, is going to give you the misdirection to put this on your magnetic gimmick. Now you have to take and line up your pieces with your first finger and your thumb on your right hand, as such. Keep in mind you're doing this the entire time while this gimmick razor blade is being hidden behind your left fingers. Once I have it lined up, the pattern of my particular story goes about, you've seen a magician tear and restore a card. Within this story, the magician will take and place the card in his hand. So he'll take his hand. This pattern allows me to go to my hand because I'm telling them what's going on. Once again, my hand's going to be tilted up. I'm going to show it for you in 2 different angles. This is what it looks like. You have the razor blade here. Now, magicians take and put something in their hand. I just switched it out completely for the 2 pieces. That's what it should look like when you perform it. Now let's look behind the scenes. Now keep in mind, when you're making these cuts, they may be sharp, so handle them with extreme caution because they're small, and now you have some sharp points there, and you don't want to get cut during this because bleeding during magic doesn't get you tips. Sympathy, but not tips. Okay, so you have your razor blade set up. Here's the exchange. Basically, once again, you're supposed to do it at this angle, so you, the viewer, can see it. It's going to be at this angle. The first finger and thumb come down and pinch the razor blade and allow it to start picking it up. This thumb literally just takes and rakes the 2 pieces off as the finger and thumb go in over where the line is. Now we're going to show you the second angle. Looks like this. Let's switch it back out. from behind. So you have your razor blade in your palm position. Your patter draws you to your hand where you can see such. The thumb takes the top razor blade, pushes it down as the first finger and thumb push up, and you have your switched in gimmick razor blade. Okay? Now, this hand is going to go for the scissors. You want to make sure, because this hand is dirty. It's got the pieces of razor blade in it, and you don't want this to happen. Jingle, jingle, jingle. You want your thumb to go over it, or to grasp your fingers around it so you don't get any jingle. But do not squeeze these because they're sharp. I recommend the thumb method to just pinch it so it doesn't do anything. Grab for the scissors. As you can see, you're now holding a set of scissors, and your thumb also acts as a shield. Nice little shield. Grab for them underhanded, whatever you like to do. Grab for them this way, as long as you get those scissors in the hand with the pieces. Now, the scissors will go in the pocket, and as they're going into the pocket, you're going to ditch the pieces on your magnetic gimmick, which is in your back pocket. All while talking about this razor blade. Notice how the seams, I got them lined up. Thank you very much to Restore. I personally like to do, for lack of a better term, smart ass magic, where I say, look, I did the magic, thank you very much. Okay, no I didn't. All while doing this, I'm getting rid of the scissors and the gimmick. Now I go for the climactic ending, where I do this. When you do this, I like to flick the razor blade because it shows that it's one piece. It's nice and solid. Now you go for the kill. You have these lines right here. You get close to them and say, now watch. With your first finger, because it's pencil, start rubbing that line away on the bottom or the top, whichever you like. Now one side's completely clear, and you can say, now it's healed, but I still have another side. You turn that over. You go for the rub. Go for the rub. Turn the razor blade over, give it a nice flick. Now you may be left dirty on your first finger and thumb because you're going to have a little lead or graphite on there. It's an easy move. You can just swish your fingers together. You can come down, bring it to your side, wipe them on your jeans, or bring it down to the table and wipe on a tablecloth, whatever you like to do. Take the razor blade, you can put it on the table, show it's restored, and that's how you tear and restore a razor blade. Now we're going to show you the handlings to control the spectator and the pieces during this performance. And now let's go over the movements to control your spectator and to ditch the pieces of the razor blade to your magnetic gimmick. First we'll need a spectator. Oh, Nick.
What up, man?
Do you have a razor blade I can borrow?
Yeah, I think so.
That death by chocolate milk thing again, huh?
Yeah, gotta love it.
Nice.
There you go.
Now, once you have your razor blade, you don't want to take and hand it to the spectator, but you want to get them into it as much as possible. Nick, can you set down your chocolate milk for a second?
Do I have to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Now, Nick, all I want you to do is to cut this razor blade in half.
Okay.
Now, notice I handed him a pair of scissors. There's two reasons why I'm doing this. You'll see in just a moment.
Just like
Once
that?
he cuts it, that's correct. Once he cuts it, I'm going to let him hold on to those scissors because I'm going to ask for them in just a second. There's a reason for that. Now notice I got them from my right pocket. I will be depositing them in my left pocket where the magnetic gimmick is. Now I'm going to take and pinch the two together. I go for the sleight of hand move, which you saw earlier, which is where I switched them out. Now the two pieces are in my left hand. That's when I ask, Nick, can I have the scissors back?
Sure.
Upon receiving the scissors, I go immediately to the back pocket, and it looks like this. They go in the back pocket. Now my hand is set up to simply deposit the pieces of razor blade on that magnetic gimmick. That's how you get rid of it.
Clever.
Turn back to your spectator, going for the move where you erase the pencil mark on each one What I like to do is place it on a table in front of them, say, hey, it's sharp, be careful. Upon doing that, that's your misdirection, just in case anyone around you may have seen. You can remove those little tad bits, put them in your pocket, or put your jacket or shirt over them. And that's how you do torn or restored razor blade.
You want to feel it? Just grab the end and give it a little tug. Real?
Yeah.
Real razor blade, right? All right, check this out. Okay?
Wait a minute. How do you do that? Show me that trick, man. I need to make some money down in Ocala.
There you go.
That's
Thank you.
And
excellent.
here's what's cool. The blade is
No
bigger
way.
than the neck of the bottle.
Oh man. So you want? Wait a minute. Oh man, this is crazy. I
like
don't
that?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Thank you,
guys
my
are
friend.
good.
Thank you.
Here's the explanation for the razor blade to bottle. Now, let's explain. When I'm selecting my bottle, I like to use a water bottle. I like the plastic. If I drop it, no harm, no foul. But you can use glass. Another reason I like these water bottles is look at the label in proportion to the actual bottle. The bottle is quite big and the label's actually quite small on the bottle. If I'm using a label that consumes the majority of the bottle like this, it looks like I have room to conceal something behind there. So it can look kind of hokey. So I like a label that's nice and small in proportion to the bottle. Now, what I do is I take a razor blade and I actually bend it like this and force it into the neck of the bottle. These things are real flexible, so you should have no problem. Once I get it into the bottle, I cap off the bottle. You're going to need an extra razor blade, and you're going to need your Bloody Mary Monte gimmick. It goes on the middle finger of my left hand, and in my back right pocket I have two block magnets that take up the entire pocket right across the bottom. That's where I'm going to wind up ditching this magnet, or this razor blade. And move this razor blade to where it's right here, right behind the label. Then attach my Bloody Mary Monte gimmick, and it's going to hold it through the bottle. And I can hold it just like this. Now when I'm holding the bottle, notice that I hold it out with my fingertips. I'm holding it loosely. It looks more natural. If you're going to take a drink from a water bottle, you're going to do it like this. You're not going to be holding the bottle like this real tight. So you want it to look nice and natural, holding it out just like this. Take my razor blade, I come down to my side, and I come back like I'm wanting to force the razor blade actually through the bottle, pushing it through the bottle. I come down once or twice. It's usually the third time that I ditch. When I come down, I attach the razor blade to the block magnets in my pocket. So I come down, attach to the magnet, I come up, and I actually hit the bottle. When I hit the bottle, it pushes the bottle this way. At the same time, I take my hand and I do this move. So it pushes the magnet this way. What it does is it disengages the magnet from the razor blade, and it looks like I'm actually forcing the razor blade through the bottle. I immediately take the bottle in this hand, shake it, and I go pass it off. As I'm reaching out to hand it, I come back to this pocket and I ditch the gimmick into the pocket. I just drop it into the pocket and I'm clean. That's handling number one for the razor blade to bottle. Now, here's the way this one works. You have your extra razor blade, still setting up the bottle the same way, using the same gimmick in the hand. The bottle's set up. I have my spectator, and this one you can do with actually 2 or 3 spectators. What I do is I come out and I move towards the back of the bottle, and as I come in, I go 1, I'll show the blade very visually, and 2, come in, I clip the blade behind my thumb, just like that. So it's 1, they see it. 2, I come back, and I don't hesitate. Once I come back, I still make it look like I'm holding a razor blade. And on 3, I come forward and I do the hit. When I do the hit, the razor blade falls. I shake, stab the razor blade behind the thumb, and then as I go to hand it off, I peel the razor blade off. I grab, and as soon as I get it in this hand, I want to shake again. And the shake's going to cover me attaching this to the magnet. It's going to cover any noise. Once I'm attached there, I can ditch to a magnet in my back pocket, and I'm clean. So the big misdirection here is right here. As I'm handing off, I come back, I ditch, and I'm clean. And that's another way that you can do the razor blade to bottle.
I got 2 razor blades here. You've heard of linking rings before, where the magicians take some rings and link them. We're going to do a little impromptu with some razor blades. All right, check this out. Just 1, 2. There's 1. Not bad? Check them out. They're all linked, right?
Yeah.
Now, if we just reach up into the air, it should produce a 3rd one, which should magically just link like this. See it happening? Melting together like such. Just like that. But we can't let it in there. We're just going to let them merge apart. But, well, let's just... Nothing there. Now just watch. This is where it gets really bad. Good to go. Got my iron for the day. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
That's great.
Here's how you perform the linking razor blades. First thing you'll need is 3 razor blades. Very important, you want to make sure these are dull. There's another important factor. You want to make sure they're dull, and as Nick always likes to say, make sure they're dull. Okay, I think we got that across. You need the 3 razor blades. You need a block magnet, which can be purchased from Radio Shack for about $1.50, $2 each. Simply slide that into your right back pocket if you're right-handed. We'll get to that in a second. You need a pair of scissors, and you need some cocktail napkins. Now simply choose one of your razor blades, and what you want to do is take your scissors, and you can see there's an arch, this little square arch, and there's a bottom to it. You want to stick the scissors as deep as you can into there and make a snip. What that does is it creates this. I just created a linking gimmick similar to the key ring in linking rings. Now once you can take and look at this, it springs back, so it looks just like a regular razor blade, except it's got a slight little hole cut in it. Now, I always like to make sure that my opening is on my right side. So far we have a magnet in the right pocket, back pocket. We have a razor blade cut so that it opens on the right side. Now everything I'm doing is right-sided. Now, the preparation for the first link is as follows. Open up your key ring. This is before your show. And link your first linking razor blade as such. Okay? Now all you want to do is go ahead, slide this one up. It's going to lay flat, just like such. Now you can actually see what appears to be one razor blade. Now if you look at a profile, it'd be thin, just like a razor blade, and the way you're holding it, you want to make sure that the fingertips are barely holding in the second razor blade. Here's the reason why. Because you're going to be dropping it for this. That's the look you want, is that it basically is going to magically drop out of nowhere. Alright. Once you have this set up, now you're ready to go perform and approach the table. It's always nice. I like to do the approach holding the two razor blades, give them a nice little flick like this, a little extra added danger. I automatically take and turn this down, as you can see here. Now once again, my opening is on the right hand side. My right hand has the razor blade, and I always let go on the third, and I'll show you what that means. So it goes, here's 1, 2, on the third one, my right hand finds the magnet, sticks the razor blade to it, and comes up in a closed fist position till I get about 7 or 8 inches from what appears to be one razor blade. I always like to do a slam. In conjunction, you have to let go with these, so it looks like this. So let's look at that one more time. One razor blade. Here's 1, 2, 3. This is a slam open. You let go with your fingers, and it lets it loose. This is a very, very powerful visual connection, because it looks like you took that razor blade and just whew, and it connected. Now the first thing you need to do, slightly turn so that your right side is now being shielded. And that's simply done by saying, look at the razor blades. Your right hand comes down and grabs a razor blade and simply pinches it right in between these two fingers. Pinches it. If you like, tilt it back towards your knuckle even more. So that's still down at my side. My leg is covering that entire movement as I'm shoving this forward. Now what I want to do is bring my hand up like this. Now notice that my thumb right here is actually covering the fact that I have a piece of razor blade sticking out. So it looks like I'm just holding this hand comes up because we're looking at these. So even if you flashed on the way up and turned here, it's not that big of a deal because they're looking at the linked razor blades. At this point, all you want to do is you want to produce your third razor blade. Now you can actually, once you produce this third razor blade, you're kind of clean for that particular moment, so you can turn back. Here's a production of the razor blade. I like to use an up and down motion, and on the up, I just simply take this finger and move it out of the way and push it behind the razor blade. It kind of looks like this. Nice, quick, easy production. Once again, you want to make sure that your perspective to your audience, they don't see that you're like this. You want to make sure you're like this. Thumb is covering up. You come up, move the finger, put it behind the razor blade, come back to the same position. Let's do it one more time just to show you a little bit slower. From the actual, grab the razor blade, it comes up. I slowly move up and down a few times. On the up, the only motion I did was this. Give a nice, say now we have our third razor blade. You're ready to link. Turn, because remember you have nothing hanging off at this point. You're clean at this particular point. This is a very easy move. If you can do linking rings, you can do this one. I like to take this razor blade, put it in front of where the key ring is. Remember, the key ring is right here. Or the key blade, I should say. Put it in front. This allows you the opportunity to open up that ring if you want. But basically you're doing this. You're pushing back a little bit, sliding, and dropping. That's all you're doing. Let's look at that one more time. It's an easy, simple move. This razor blade comes in. See how this kicks back? That's all you're doing. Kicks it back. You slide over and let the razor blade go. It's a phenomenal link. It's easy to do because the razor blade is actually blocking. Now, if you like, you can turn them upside down. They're all linked. Very, very nice. Now you're ready to make them completely disappear with the illusion of you're eating them. Now keep in mind, you want to find the opening. Once again, I like mine on the right side, so I found it. I'm going to turn it. Just like I put it on, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to push forward, and I'm just going to take and do a nice little move, and it looks like they unmelt. Now this is one razor blade. I'm going to make it look like I'm eating it. Once again, don't stick sharp razor blades in your mouth. These are dull. I'm going to hold it so that it lines up with my first 2 fingers, like this. My thumb's going to basically hold it. I'm going to stick my tongue out, and what's happening is this. That's all I'm doing. I'm using my tongue to help the razor blade push down, like this. Now if you slightly speed that up, people are drawing the attention to the mouth. Now what you're going to do, once again we'll go over it slow, you're holding these razor blades out. This is a nice little, once again, nice little distraction. Tongue comes out. All you're doing is pushing it down into your 2 fingers and your thumb. If you want, make a nice, this is where acting comes in. Make a nice gesture. Hand comes away. Guess where you're going to stick this one? On your back pocket where the magnet is. So it looks like this. Make sure and show your mouth empty. Nothing inside. They can even inspect it. Whatever you want them to do. Now remember you have a razor blade stuck down here. We'll get to that in a second. This is the killer ending. This is really, really nice, especially the cleanup. The cleanup was actually, I'm going to give Tom Malka credit for it because it's an idea that we received while watching his cigarette eating act, the cleanup for his cigarettes. Same way the razor blades work. Basically, you want to take, just like you see in Geek Magic or something like that, someone taking, we're going to do the exact same thing because we want to let people see it goes in the mouth. Because right now they said, well, I don't really see it go in his mouth. Watch this. Stick the tongue out. And first thing you want to do, see how it's starting to go back up in that position? That's exactly what you want. So it goes on the tongue. You can push it up and pinch it. And all you're doing is going for that, putting it back together look. So it looks like this. Now, it's a little hard to talk with razor blades. So that's in your mouth. Stick it on your tongue and show them. Close your mouth. Reach for your napkins. Wipe your mouth just a little bit. You want to make sure it's on your tongue. There's a reason for that. Because when you wipe your mouth, you're going to actually catch the razor blade in a napkin. It'll look like this. Let's go over that move one more time. Look, razor blades simply got spit into the napkin. Looks like this. These are kind of wet, so you can even go for your napkin while you're doing it. Completely empty. Now you have razor blades in this napkin. Remember, you have the secret gimmick of a magnet in your pocket. Simply with your right hand, drop down, place the magnets onto the magnet, or place the razor blades onto the magnet. Show the magnet, or show the napkin completely empty. Give it a nice little curl. Throw it away. And as you take your bow, you can grab those razor blades off your magnet, take a bow to the other side, and now you've palmed off all 3 of the dull razor blades, and that's how you do the linking razor blades.
And here's our good friend Tomas Medina performing the strung razor blades.
Go get him, Toe.
Here, could you run your finger across that for a second? Oh, here. Razor blade number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Come on, right over here. You don't even look at oh, that other bra is killing me.
Italian.
And here's the explanation for strung razor blades. And here's how you prepare for the strung razor blades. You'll need 8 dull razor blades and a spool of white sewing thread. First, you should take probably about 1.5 feet of the sewing thread and tie 4 of the dull razor blades with about 3 to 3.5 inches between each razor blade. On one end, you want to make sure there is no lead. The thread should be directly cut right off the end so there is no little hangings ends. And on the lead end, I like to leave about 2.5 inches. This gives me the opportunity when I'm trying to find it so it strings out real nicely. Here's how you prepare it. It's very, very simple. Hold the razor blade, the one without the lead end, up and simply fold. Take the next one, come up, and sandwich the thread in between the razor blade. There's going to be little things that may be hanging out, that's fine. This is just the basic preparation. And you just want to sandwich, make sure that string goes in between each. And finally, the 4th razor blade. And if any strings are hanging out, it's completely fine. This is just getting it ready for the load. And I'm just going to find my lead, moisten it a little bit, and place it in place as such. And that's my load. Now, when you're doing this, it's good to work out of a savant, an apron of some sort, even a magic case. And you just simply take the razor blades and set them on top of your thread. We'll just pretend that's in my savant, for example. Now you take your 4 dull razor blades, you show them, you showcase them out a little bit. You can even cut some cards if you like. Jim Rhodes does this exact act, and he cuts with each one a card. You can do that if you like. And you feed those into your mouth. Now what you're going to do is you're going to feed those into, depending on if you're right or left-handed, it's your choice, your left or right cheek. But make sure they're all in the same side. Make sure to do a little gagging, swallow a little bit. We'll go ahead and show you that real quickly. There's one. If you want, you can do a little razor blade manipulation. Swallow it so it appears. Go ahead and load your final 2. Swallow. Now you're ready for your load. You have to grab your string. When you grab your string, I'm going to take these out so I can talk. Nothing like the taste of yummy razor blades. This is the setup you want to perform to get this to load into your mouth. I like to take the thread. Now once again, they have many different sizes of bobbins. This is a small one. You get a nice big wooden one. The bigger, the better. But I'm confident in my performance, so I do it this way. You want to pull, once again, about a foot to 1.5 feet, maybe even 2 feet. And the razor blades are going to be in this configuration here. They're pinched between my ring finger and my middle finger so that when my hand is turned this way, you can't see them. But we're going to show you what happens when you supposedly go to bite the thread. This right here. You're loading those into your mouth. Now you don't want to put them on the same side as your other razor blades. You want to load them into your mouth, on your tongue, and put them in the opposite side. So it'll look just like this. Okay? Now I've loaded my little pack of razor blades. Now, here's the actual performance part where you're going to be taking them out. There's a special move you have to do to get rid of these razor blades. So I'm going to go and load back up and show you that. Strung razor blades, these are on my left side, and the single razor blades are on my right side. I wad up the string into a little ball. You want to make this, during this ball movement, this is the perfect opportunity to be making sure that the razor blades are in placement. As such. Stick it into your mouth. I prefer just putting it in my bottom lip. Now, I want to find that little string that was hanging out. And there it is. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now on the fourth one, what you want to do is take the fourth razor blade, transfer it over, and stack it onto the loose razor blade. So it'll look just like this. And now, this one looks like one razor blade, but there's actually a total of 5 razor blades here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 razor blades. But the saliva sticks them together so you can actually take and let them go and show that there's only 4 razor blades. Stick these in a cup, stick them in your pocket, stick them in your savant, wash them off, and you're ready to go. Now you are left with some string in there. We don't recommend swallowing it. You can keep it packed in your cheek, in your chin area, in your upper lip, or under your tongue. Once you're through performing for that particular crowd, move off to the side, remove the string, and set up for the next performance. And that's how you do the strung razor blades.
In the early 1900s, before there was ever an instructional DVD or an instructional video, even instructional beta, there was a very classic form of magic, vaudevillian silent magic. And this is my tribute, my homage, if you will, to that simpler time. I bring you Death by Chocolate Milk. Here's the explanation for death by chocolate milk. For the setup, you're going to need, of course, milk, chocolate syrup, a dulled double-edged razor blade, a straight-edged razor blade or an X-Acto knife, a bowl, Wrigley's Winter Fresh. This is the gum of choice. Get this gum. It works really, really well. A clear glass. You should be able to see through it. Nothing opaque. A knife and a magnet. A strong magnet. And also a towel. Once you have all of this, we're ready to go. Setting up your knife and your magnet. This magnet is a little flat magnet. It goes with computers. You see it's real thin. About the same thickness as the knife. So when we put it on this knife, we can actually take, and the blade of the knife will conceal it. Now our knife, let's talk about the knife. You want a knife that is as wide as possible right up here on the blade. You don't want a real thin knife. The wider, the better. The flat side helps too. This is an ideal knife for what we're doing. Now, when I'm setting up my knife, I'm very particular with the way I set it up. When I'm holding the knife blade down, I like the edge of the knife to be facing to my right. I set the blade on the side closest to me, just like that, and then right here I square it up on the back side of the knife, so it's just like that. And I also have the magnet, as you see, in the fatter portion of the knife. At the very thickest spot of the knife, that's where I want the magnet centered. Okay? There's a reason for this. We'll get to that in a minute. It's the way I pull the knife from the glass. Set the glass aside for now. Here's where the gum comes in. I take the gum from the wrapper. I don't necessarily need the wrapper, but I like to keep it by because it makes a nice little handy carrying case. So I set the wrapper to the side for now. I take my razor blade, my double-edged razor blade, and I set it on top of the gum. Take my straight-edged razor blade, and what I want to do is I want to even up the razor blade on the end of the gum, just like that. Then I come to the other end, I cut the piece of gum. Now I have a piece of chewing gum. It's the same size as the razor blade. At this point, set the razor blade back on top, and I begin cutting out the little nooks in the corners, just like this. Four little corners. The more time you take with this, the better your razor blade is going to be. It doesn't have to look perfect. I mean, you're not going to get to look perfect. You're dealing with gum. It's a substance that stretches. So you're just going to have to be patient with it. If you start getting frustrated with your piece of gum, walk away, come back, and cut on it later. Now look. See how it's starting to take the shape of the razor blade? This is what we're wanting. Now, you see here, I have a wrapper. This is the way I carry my gum when I'm done cutting it out. See, I've cut the middle of the razor blade out. Got my little holes. Got my crease right down the middle. It looks very close to my razor blade. So my razor blade down. I keep it in the wrapper. Keeps it sanitary because I'm going to be eating this piece of gum. Now let's talk about the routine real quick. This routine is great for parlor. It's great for stage. It's not a trick, folks. This is not a trick that you do just to your girlfriend. Hey, come in here. It's good to run it by someone like that, but this is a performance piece. This is something that I've used in parlor magic, And I tell you what, it absolutely slays the crowd. I've done it, twice on stage, both times before intermission. Gives them something to think about before they go and get their snack. It's a great piece, and I'm really proud of it. Now the setup. A little bit of setup, but well worth the time. Take chocolate syrup, pour it into my bowl. I get a nice base of chocolate syrup on the bowl. After that, I take my gum and I sit it in the syrup. I then pile on a ton of chocolate syrup on top of that. I mean a lot, because you want that gum to be deep in the syrup and not accidentally come out. You want to be able to get plenty of chocolate into the milk without having your gum come out as well. Milk. My towel and my knife, and I'm ready to go. Now, with my razor blade, I've always performed this silent to music. It's the way I've done it. The razor blade goes in. I use no patter. If you want to be creative and come up with patter, that's your business. This should be your routine as well. Alright? Once that goes in, I then I drop in my chocolate. I like to pour it towards me. That way I can see if the gum's about to come out and I can try and stop it. The chocolate goes in. Once the chocolate's in there, I take this, set it to the side, and I stir. While I'm stirring it up, two things are happening. One, I'm mixing the chocolate into the milk, and two, the razor blade always finds its way to the magnet right there. See? Now, I'm stirring. Now, as I'm stirring, this is critical. I move up and down against the side of the glass, and while I'm doing that, it's straightening the razor blade onto the knife. When I get done stirring, I don't stir that long. I only stir for about 10 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. I always come to my left side and I pull straight up. This is squaring the razor blade on the back side of the knife. So when I do that, the blade is concealed. I tap twice. See the razor blade? I tap. I come up and I wipe the knife clean. So I'm wiping it clean. I steal the razor blade, and then I'll also take and steal the magnet. At that point I can either ditch on a magnet in my back pocket, or I can lap it if I'm sitting down. Okay. I'll then lick and then chug the milk. Drink all of the milk until it's gone. Once that's done, I reach into the chocolate, produce my gum razor blade, I swipe it here. As you see, it has that gray sort of tint to it. The chocolate mixed with the gum. I eat the gum real theatrically, swallow the gum, and then after I've swallowed it, I display my mouth to be completely empty. That's the end of the routine. It really leaves them hanging. What happened to the razor blade? Makes them think he must have ate it. And that's how you perform death by chocolate milk. Oh yeah, one more thing. Very important about death by chocolate milk. At the end there, where you take the razor blade, the stick of gum out of the chocolate, and you eat it, I chew mine up, and then I swallow mine. Swallow the gum, that way I'm completely clean. I can show my mouth empty. Now, here's the thing. Swallowing gum, I do it. I know James does it. It's one of those things where, you can do it, but doctors don't recommend it. So, I'm telling you now, it can be hazardous to your health. It could cause some sort of blockage in your digestive tract, and you could wind up getting sick from it. So, if you swallow gum, it's from your decision. Now, having that said, here's the alternative. If you don't want to swallow the gum, chew it up real thin into a small little ball or into a small little strip. Pack it into your cheek, or pack it into your top lip, or pack it into your bottom lip. Either way, just whatever you're doing whenever you're showing it, make sure you keep it concealed. Another good place you can put it, under your tongue. And that's one way of getting rid of the gum without swallowing it.
This is a little safety thing that they put razor blades in, and you're not. They put them in here so you won't cut yourself. Okay, it's real easy. Basically, we're going to take one of those razor blades. Ow. Yeah.
That's gonna hurt.
Yeah. If you guys want a close shave, see me in the bathroom in about an hour. Now, I'll take this a step further for you. Here's number 2. This is wow.
Put hot sauce on it.
All right. This is for you.
Thank you.
Kiss, kiss. Okay.
No, thanks.
For you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a romantic.
And here's the explanation for eating razor blades. First you'll need some cocktail napkins, a Sharpie marker, some Wrigley's Winter Fresh gum. Pretty much any Wrigley products will work because of the silver wrapper. That's what we're after. And of course your pack of dull razor blades. First thing, take a stick of gum out. The reason I like to use gum is because it's pretty much impromptu. You can go to a grocery store. You can also use aluminum foil, but it's not quite as readily possible to find if you're out in the field, so to speak. Take and unwrap the chewing gum, discard the chewing gum, and get the wrapper as such. Take your razor blade, put it on, and now trace it out with a pen or pencil. Get a pair of scissors or an X-Acto knife and cut out a shape that looks just like this. This is a mock razor blade cut out of the simple little gum wrapper. I know it's a little bit shiny, it's a little flexible, but they're only going to get a look at it for a short period of time. The psychology of this particular routine is set up as such because the first one's a hard-hitting one and the second one they get a quicker look at. Take your Sharpie marker. The particular razor blades that we're using have this kind of an arrow setting, just a marking of the particular brand, and so we want to mimic that as much as possible. So we take our Sharpie marker and we just go ahead and put some lines to mimic that as close as possible. Once again, doesn't have to be exact. Don't need to be Picasso on this one. Once you have this, you're almost ready to perform. All you have to do is just set it up. Take your razor blade container and place, with the gum wrapper has a shiny side and a white side. Place the shiny side down. There's a reason for this, because we're going to do what we call a bottom deal. If you're good at cards, you know anything about cards, you should know how to do, or can research how to do a bottom deal. But we'll show you how to do it with the razor blades. Turn it over, just take a little peek. The shiny side should be facing up. Now the only thing that's holding this on the bottom is my fingers. Now, with the razor blade case, when you push, it's just like dealing a deck of cards. So I'll take the razor blade, push it out, talk about it, flick it to show it's real, and literally as I go to grab it, my thumb just pushes it back in. These two fingers, my first finger and my middle finger, go on the fake razor blade on the bottom. My thumb acts as if it's just pulling it out. It's quick, it's easy. If you can't do this move, collect stamps. Okay, let's take a look at that as if I'm doing it. Once again, I'm going to be down, but I want to show you what it looks like here. Hey, see this razor blade? I'm going to take this razor blade. Once again, I just exchanged it out. Keep in mind, it is the fake razor blade. It will have a tendency to do this, but don't worry, because we're going to place it in our mouth pretty quick. Let's look at it one more time, then we'll go to the next step. Take the razor blade out, give it a nice little flick, as you're going in for the razor blade, push it, and with your thumb, literally like this, with your thumb, all you're doing is pinching it out, and it looks like you're taking it from the case. Pretty basic. Once I have it in, I set my razor blade case down. I then take and put this in my mouth on my tongue. It'll look like this. Now, real quick, I show that for a split second. The reason being is because you want them to guess, what did he just do? You put it in your mouth, and for lack of better, I'm just going to make one up because I don't want to talk at the same time, but it looks like this. You want to put it in your mouth as quick as you can, but you want to get a quick glance. So, it looks just like this. You chew it up, and you can put it in the side, you can put it in your top, you can pack it in your bottom, whatever you like to do. It goes to a small size, about a pearl, a little bit smaller, so it's easy to hide and get rid of. Now, here comes the kicker following. You take your razor blades, you say, I was kind of quick at that one, let's see it again. But make sure you go, to show your mouth empty while saying this pattern, because it's very important. You want them to see no razor blade inside your mouth. This is the nice kicker ending. Take your razor blade out, take it completely out. This is where you can go nice and slow. Place it on your tongue. The moisture will keep it on your tongue. You can literally show everyone. This is where you can milk the reaction from your audience. So you do this. See? Yummy. You want to milk that reaction. You want them to see it's going in your mouth completely. Once it's in your mouth, it's a little hard to talk with a razor blade, so once it's in your mouth, do some theatrics. So, just some swallowing. Oh, yeah. Once you get to a point, you don't want to milk it too much because they're going to get bored with it. Reach in and get your cocktail napkin because you want to ditch this razor blade into the napkin. Once again, this is kind of gotten from watching Mullica do a cigarette act as he would extract the entire cigarettes from his mouth. So it looks from the side like this. That's exactly what it looks like. Let's show you that again. Razor blade goes into the mouth. I milk it. I get my reaction. I do the throat wiggle. Now I'm ready to make it appear that I'm wiping my mouth after dinner, so to speak. So let's do this. Swallow. Now at this point, you can do one of two things, depending on your location. Remember, you're using magnets with some of your other tricks. If you have a magnet in your back pocket, you can drop your hand down, and you can take and then put the magnet onto it, and then show the napkin empty. Throw it away. If you're not using that, it's very, very simple to simply take, ball the napkin away, and throw it to the side. It's quick, it's easy. And the reason this routine works is because the first one, they get a nice little glance of something. They know it's a razor blade, it looked like one. Then your mouth was empty. Where did that razor blade go? Then on the second one, you literally show it going into your mouth, ending with stealing that razor blade away. And that's how you eat a razor blade. Once you have this razor blade in your mouth, the paper one, you're going to have a little ball. At the end of your routine, you can do one of a few things. You don't want to swallow it. We'll say that right off the bat. But when you spit this razor blade out, there's nothing wrong with putting it in here as well. Or simply keep it packed and discard it when you go to the restroom or leave your performance area.
Hey, I'm here in a nice pub in South Florida with my good friend John. John, hi.
Nick?
Say hi to the camera.
Hi, camera.
I like that. You can perform. You're born to be a star. I don't know how to do that anyway. I just say you can do tricks. Anyway, I got a trick for you. It's a new one. Remember that classic of magic, the cups and balls?
Think so.
You got a metal cups, little balls.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of like a shell game, but a lot bigger than shells.
Okay.
So you do remember?
I have seen that.
That's an. Okay. I was looking for that emphatic yes. Excellent. Now, we have here 3 shot glasses, but no ball. Instead we have a razor blade.
Right.
Okay? We're going to do the same thing, except with cups and blades. Interesting concept, yes? Now you can actually move the cup throughout the board just like that. You can move it back. You can even do a little leapfrog game, something like that. And you notice that nothing really happens. Why is that, John?
No magic.
No magic. It's because we didn't do a magic word or a magic gesture or something. If we snap our fingers like that, you know what happens? Magic. You ready? Watch what happens here. Yes. We take and we switch the cups just like that, and the razor blade stays in the same spot. Nice, huh? Hey, see what happens? The razor blade, it stayed in the same spot again. I don't know how it happens. It just happens. It's magic, you know. Magic happens. Kind of like other stuff. It just happens. Take and we switch, and happens again. And again, the razor blade jumps back. You know why that is, don't you?
Magic?
It's magic.
The snap?
Yeah, it's the snap, but most importantly is razor blades like to congregate towards the north. That way's north, so they hang out of it. We'll just pretend that way's north. All right?
All right.
So, what we need is more razor blades. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? We do all kinds of stuff. We have more razor blades. So, tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna take and we're gonna switch like that, and we're gonna get another razor blade. Look at that. What are we looking for?
Dude.
I'm clean here, you know.
Okay.
All right. Check it out. Do you want to touch one? Just don't cut yourself. Real razor blade, yes? All right. Okay.
That's a check.
I can't blame you for it. Tell you what we can do. We can put one razor blade in the cup, take the second razor blade, put it in the same cup. Now, watch what happens. I can stir it up. Look what happens. Not a thing. You know why?
No snap?
No snap. There we go.
Okay.
So we take the same razor blades, we put them back into the cup. We give the same stir. Little magic stir. We can pour it out. One razor blade, John. Look at that. I don't know how it happens. It's magic. Now, hey, do I come to your work and take a broom out of your hands?
Okay.
That's what I thought. Now, you know where that other razor blade went, don't you? It's floating around right here. I can take it, I can grab it, and then I can take and just kind of sprinkle it into this cup. And watch what happens. All right? And we have our 2 razor blades back.
How?
Again, snatching the broom right out of my hands. You like that?
Yeah, that's pretty neat. That's good.
It is. It's a nice trick. Wow, this is a really cool trick, huh? But you wonder how it works. Well, instructional DVD, so we're going to show you. Okay, it's something that we actually came across on accident. We were doing the Bloody Mary Monty. I was practicing in my kitchen, and James was standing across. I'm like, tell me how this looks. And he goes, you got to put a razor blade in there. I'm like, there's one in there. He goes, come around here and take a look at this. And I was like, holy cow, there's really not one in there. But there is. Look. It's a trick with angles. See, this razor blade is sitting in the glass this way. These two also have razor blades in them. Now, these razor blades are sitting in this way. All right? This way. This way. Okay, y'all got it. Now, there's a couple extra things that make this trick work as well as it does. One, lighting. You don't want any really bright lights up above you. You don't want any coming in from the sides. Believe me, I know. I've tried this. I've practiced this. We use this. It's ours. We know this. So believe us. Okay, number 2, your environment with your spectators. You want them about 3, 4, maybe that's your first line. 3 to 4 feet, all the way back to about 8 feet. That's your optimal, viewing range. Width, they can get pretty wide. They can probably get about,
8 feet wide from the center, so 4 on each side. So you got a pretty good little viewing audience that you can deal with there. All right. Now, the towel. You look at the towel. I do this a lot in bars. People spill beer, they spill stuff, and it gets on your close-up mats. And I just naturally use towels in bars. Well, this trick doesn't work on close-up mats that well. It works really, really well on towels. It's because of the texture of the towel. Not only that, it's the color of the towel. We've tried black towels, green towels, red towels, yellow towels, flowered towels, and it doesn't matter. Blue's the best. So go get you a nice blue towel and go get you these shot glasses. These are the same ones I use the Bloody Mary Monty. And got them at ABC Liquor, like I already said. I'm doubling up on everything. That way you get it. Got it? Good. Now they're straight shot glasses, about as wide as a razor blade. And this is what you need. The lighting mixed with the towels, mixed with the angle of the razor blades and the curvatures of a straight shot glass create the illusion of this razor blade disappearing. Now I can turn it pretty good little bit of angles here. I can be off a little bit and you still can't see it. I can turn it a little bit here and you still can see it. Alright, so you're fine there. Now, let's get into the workings of the routine. I can pick them up, I can move them down, I can move them around, and it doesn't matter. They're still invisible. This one's still a visible razor blade. Take and I can move it back like that. Still the only visible razor blade. But if I snap, I can take and produce a razor blade just like that. Or I can take and I can vanish. It's a little gag that I do. Alright? This is the way the actual routine works. I have one razor blade here. I take and I say it's going to move here, but it doesn't because it stays there. Because I'm using the rule of thumb. Now here's the rule of thumb. When I grab glasses, my thumbs are together, just like this. When I pick up and I switch, I turn both glasses. I'm basically doing this right here, but I do it while I move it, so it covers it. So it's this. Alright? When I pick up and I come back over and I sit down, my thumbs are still together. That's the rule of thumb. Thumbs are together here. Thumbs are together here. See how that works? You can't mess up. Keep those thumbs square and you won't have problems with glasses coming down sitting on the angle like that. Alright? Once I get to do that gag once or twice, then I'll get to this move and I'll say, you know what? We can actually create a second one. We can just take and we can do this because razor blades always congregate to the north. And then I'll do the whole north joke. It gets a laugh sometimes. Hopefully. I like it when it gets a laugh. Now all I did was I'll pick up, I'll slide this hand, but I still do the pivot with this hand. Just pretend I'm using the rule of thumb, but I'm only using it with one hand. Pivot and I produce the second glass with the second razor blade. Now, once I'm at this point, I can pour out the razor blades, two glasses, and that gives me some time to drop this hand down, and I'm actually sticking it in a cup of water. Alright? This move I'm going to do now is called the double up. I'm going to teach it to you during the manipulation portion and show you some other things you can do with the double up, but here's a little quick view at it. I pick up a razor blade, I rub it to get it wet, I put it in, rub this one, get it wet, put it in, and then when I put them in, I want to make sure I sit them in so they're facing that way so you can see them. I don't want to put them in and they vanish. That'd be bad. I then can spin the razor blades, and perfect. This is what I wanted to happen. They came out and they're not square. You know why they're not square? Well, because I put them in wrong, but I did it on purpose. You want to sit them in there so that they're pretty square when you put them in already. Sit them on top of each other, and then when you spin, they will come together square. Alright? See that? They came back together square. If you put them in the first time, you do the move, and it doesn't work, and they come out crooked like that, tell them it didn't happen because you didn't snap, just like at the beginning. Gives you a chance to put it back in, try it again, get them out square. Now when they come out, you can drop it, toss it around, because it looks like one razor blade. Now we have to produce this last razor blade. Oh yeah, by the way, you can use spit. Alright? We'll talk about it later in the double up if you need that moisture. Alright? we need to get that razor blade back. We had two, but now there's only one. I'll say that it vanished, and I'll grab it, and I can sprinkle it in. Here's two little moves you can do to bring it back. One, you very cleanly show your hand empty. You come in, pick it up, and very slowly and smoothly just pour it out. You don't have to rush this move. Just have confidence. Just pick it up, pour it out. And then there's two you can grab it in the air, and you can take and throw it. And what will happen is that jingle, and then you pour it out. So it'll look very nice, just like that. And once you do that, you want to make sure you square it back up so they can see the visible side. You don't want to jingle and then it instantly vanish. If it does that, go to a pour out. So if you do the shake move and it's where they can't see it, immediately pour it out. Okay? And that's the cups and the blades.
Now we're going to go over some vanishes, manipulations, and productions that you can do with razor blades. The first thing we're going to go over is what I like to call the modified bag palm. It works just like a card bag palm, except the fact that razor blade's a lot smaller than a card, so we had to modify it. Hence the modified bag palm. When I'm holding the razor blade, I want to hold it on my middle finger right here, just like that, and pinch it with the thumb. Pointer finger is actually going to be what does all of the magic. I keep my pointer finger right behind the razor blade, and I can show the razor blade. To vanish it, I simply can rub and vanish. Now the way that works is I take my pointer finger, bring it over the top of the razor blade, then turn it, which tilts it flat like that, and then I take my thumb and I push the razor blade back to square it up. Then I can either leave my thumb in front of the razor blade, or I can actually show it briefly like this, pinching it between these two fingers. To bring the razor blade back, I use my thumb, I pinch the bottom of the razor blade, bring the finger behind, and bring it back. Now in full time, it looks like this. I don't want these really big motions. I want to keep my movements somewhat small and confined, but you do want to do more than just this. You want to make it look like a little snap production. You should move your hand up and down maybe about 3 to 4 inches. So when I begin to push down on the razor blade with my thumb, I go up and then down. Just like that. And again, to vanish it, it's the exact opposite. And that is the modified back palm vanish and production. Now the move I want to talk about is the double up. The double up requires 2 razor blades and a magical ingredient, water. Now I do this during my cups and blades routine. I take and I'll wet the first blade, place it into the glass. I'll wet a second blade and I'll place it into the glass. At that point, I then spin the cup and use the centrifugal force, which actually causes the blades to come together, find each other in there. I can pour it out and it looks like one razor blade. Now if you don't have water, you can always use spit. You can lick your fingers, rub the razor blades, and they'll go together. Same thing backstage. Now I mentioned backstage because sometimes I'll come out and I already have 2 doubled up. The moisture between the 2 is going to cause sort of a suction. It's going to hold the 2 razor blades together. Now I can come out, I can take a razor blade, and I can toss it onto the mat, throw it around, let it bounce around, and they stay together. They stay squared up and everything. It's really cool. And it has the appearance of one razor blade. At that point I can take very cleanly, show, say watch. And I can do a sort of a multiplying razor blade routine with the double up. The other thing you can do is the vanish. If you have 2, you can place them together and you can square them up yourself and they'll still behave the same. The only thing is it takes a little bit of sleight of hand. You have to place it into your palm. Take one, take two, little square, come out with a gesture, vanish it, and then toss down to show that there's only one razor blade left. That's one way you can do the double up. Let me go through that one again with you. Remember, you got to have some moisture on your hand. So one way to get the moisture, if you don't want to lick, is I've also hung a sponge underneath my jacket off of my belt behind me there. I can just reach back, squeeze this sponge with the tip of my fingers, boom, I'm ready to go. I can have my razor blades. Set a razor blade into the hand. Razor blade 2, I set it into the hand. All it takes is a little squaring up. And then when I do that, what I want to do is I want to look over here, take and make a little throwing gesture. When I do that, immediately throw down the razor blade. I can toss it, flip it, show that it's only one razor blade, and I'm clean. Now, you always have a really good out when you're dealing with these razor blades. They're sharp, don't touch it. I don't want you to hurt yourself. So people go to grab your razor blade and say, no, 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 no. I don't want you to cut yourself. I don't want to be responsible. It's a great out because then they won't be trying to grab it and pull and see if you got anything tricky with the razor blades. So that's how you do a production and a vanish with the double up. This next production that we're going to show you is called the perfect production. It's actually a card production that we've modified to work for razor blades. Watch. And you produce the razor blade. Now, the positioning works like this. The razor blade is pinched between the middle finger and the pointer finger. Just like that. At the same time, the other end of the razor blade is pinched between the pinky and the ring finger. Just like that. So the card is actually in sort of a spring position. I can let go of my pinky and the razor blade just springs forward. Now all I have to do is bring my thumb behind it, push forward to create the production. While doing this, I want to take in, again, another 2 to maybe 4 inch move of the hand to produce the razor blade. Now if I want to vanish the razor blade from a perfect production, all I have to do is move up and put it into a back palm position. Show you. It's produced. It's vanished. Now to vanish it, all I'm simply doing is I'm already between the pointer finger and the middle finger. All I have to do is literally push the razor blade through and it's done. From here to there, and it's vanished. At that point, if I want to, I can do a back palm production. And that's how you do the perfect production of a razor blade. This next production that we're going to show you is the razor blade from the fingertips. I'm using my gimmick. What I did, instead of placing it on my hand as normal, I give it a pinch. I place it on my middle finger just behind the first joint. I place my razor blade on almost halfway as far as the magnet onto the razor blade, just because that's where my positioning is on my finger when I come around. Now for you it may be a little different. You may need the razor blade a little further out, you may need it a little further in, or you may want to move your gimmick up and down. It's going to be different because everybody's hands are a little bit different. To produce it, all I have to do is curl these fingers in, reach up and pinch the razor blade. That's the production. To vanish, it's the exact opposite. You let go, straighten the hand. Production, vanish. Production, vanish. Okay? This is a very, very cool concept because you can do things like the miser's dream with razor blades. The possibilities are absolutely endless. Now, if you want to try different gimmicks, try and see what fits your style, you can take a Vernay thumb tip, Vernay magnetic thumb tip, and you can actually place the razor blade on that. And you can see what you can do with that. You can do some cool productions like this with the thumb tip, or you can take it for a fingertip and actually place your own magnet in it. And that's how you do the razor blade from the fingertips.
Thanks for watching. Tell you what, we had a really good time making the DVD, and we hope that you left with some knowledge and you enjoyed the DVD as well. James, any words of wisdom?
Yeah, there are a few points we'd like to leave you with. You are still using razor blades, regardless if they're dull or not. Use extreme caution. Most importantly, make sure and recycle and rotate your razor blades out, because they will have a tendency to rust.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want to stick a rusty razor blade in your mouth. You can get pretty sick from it. Well, that was Razor Blade Magic. Really hope you enjoyed it. I'm Nick Bird.
And I'm James Coates.